Historically, well, over the last few years at least, visit to the south coast have become something to fear if you're a United fan or player, as we seem to struggle whenever we go down there for whatever reason. And after the season we have had, there can't have been many approaching a trip to Brighton with particularly high hopes. Our expectations were clearly being met by the team over the first 45 minutes, where the lack of desire, energy and enthusiasm seemed to match that of most of the fans wanting the season to be over since before Easter. Going into the game, we had been heartened by news of a raft of players making a return to training, and that meant that predicting the starting 11 before the game was something you actually had to think about, rather than just listing the fit players we had and then trying to crowbar them into something resembling a formation. This, on top of the players who had returned to training the week before but hadn't been fit enough to start or find a place on the bench, meant that the average age of the squad rose from about 15 to something around the 27 mark, although the bench did still feature enough names to leave the more first team focused fans thinking, who the hell's that? Despite what we have witnessed so frequently over the season, many fans found themselves having a little bit of optimism because of the return of so many players, and while not expecting to rip Brighton to pieces, we were hopeful of making a game of it. Unfortunately, the first half followed a very familiar pattern of being second to every ball, second to every second ball, and incapable of stringing a few passes together. Chances were flowing thick and fast for Brighton, but proved to be a bit thin on the ground for United, and what chances we did get were invariably wasted. And yes, Scott, I'm looking at you. And to go in at half time with the score 0-0 felt like extreme fortitude. To the surprise of many, we decided that a bit of a warm-up for the cup final might actually be a worthwhile exercise, and with that came a side that started to take the game to Brighton. Rather than considering making tackles, winning challenges and threatening the opposition goal a flight to fancy, we actually got stuck in and the chances started to flow. We showed that when we apply ourselves we can be relatively competent, and with 2 chances taken we ran out surprisingly comfortable 2-0 winners. As has been commented on frequently by players, managers and the press alike, our away fans demonstrated what it actually means to support your club. It's not pissing and moaning on the internet or on videos like these, it's about backing your players, supporting your manager and helping them to get through difficult periods. The fact that we've had to do this every single game this season is taking the piss, but the backing they have provided deserves every minute of the time spent by the players and manager applauding them after the match. Saturday sees the end of the season for the club and the end of many careers as United employees. It's been a difficult season, which may mean an equally difficult game at Wembley. The summer is likely to be just as hard for some fans, with rumours of managerial change, squad upheaval/overhaul, and despite everything, we will all be here in August ready to put ourselves through whatever comes. As for the game on Saturday, well, who knows? The return of several players from injury can only be a good thing. How match fit they are is another matter, but I think the fact that we could have a relatively strong lineup and relatively strong bench can only be a good thing. The players returning from injury are only going to be good for half an hour at most, or at least having that could be the thing that swings it for us. Do we expect us to win? Honestly, no, I don't, but I think at least if we're able to give ourselves a bit of a chance, stay in the game for more than 30 seconds than we did last season will be a massive step in the right direction. The fact that we're probably relying on luck and good fortune isn't great. It's not that the players are useless, it's just that we don't tend to see the qualities often enough, and I'd be very surprised if that changed on Saturday. We go into it without much hope, a little bit of expectation, but I'm expecting an end to a season much like the rest of it. Field a strong side from the start, make some sensible substitutions at roughly the hour mark, which is where Eric tends to like to make most of his substitutions, and see where it takes us. Get through it, and I will see you next week.